Greetings, impressionable minds. Question: how many of you think the university experience is ample preparation to ensure a successful life in the real world? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. The only things you'll glean from your college experience are several well-crafted beer bongs, student loans you'll never repay, and a variety of STDs. How many of you believe that industrial pollutants have created a hole in the ozone and are responsible for global warming? Show of hands now.
I do.
Well, you're wrong. Fluorocarbons are beneficial. I mean, look at the sheen on this quaff. Who thinks contemporary literature is in shambles and lacks the great masters? Shakespeare, Hemingway, and Jackie Collins. Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. I just published the captain's autobiography called Well, You're Wrong by the captain. Thanks, Keith. How many of you feel that psychic phenomenon should be recognized as a legitimate science? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. It's bogus. And the practitioners are nothing but charlatans, preying on the weak, like you two gypsies. Question: how many of you think today's courageous adventurers are much like the fearless pioneers of days gone by? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. They're nothing but a band of suicidal loners and drunk bungee jumpers who overuse the word extreme. How many of you think you'd be better off if your parents disciplined you through polite reasoning, negotiations, and an unconditional reward system? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. Spineless parenting just creates self-centered, spoiled brats whose future will be traveling cross-country, picking up loners and murdering them. Who thinks that organized criminals are noble renegades like Robin Hood, stealing from the undeserving rich and giving to the poor? Show of hands now. Now! Well, you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. Mobsters are sociopathic misfits, glorified in film and television, like The Sopranos and Martha Stewart. Question: how many of you believe an expensive coffin, an ornate headstone, and a celebrity eulogy is necessary for your eternal happiness? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong, damn it. Why waste your money on the dead? A brass casket or a wooden box? Either way, you're worm food. Captain says, live now. Whoa. How many of you think it's immoral to pay others for stimulation that oftentimes barely lasts 3 minutes? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. Amusement parks are wholesome experiences that the whole family can participate in. Question: how many think that today's forensic specialists with their high-tech methods and DNA analysis are keeping our streets safer? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. Want to keep our streets safe? 3 words. Book 'em, Dano. How many feel the presidential debates are the most important component to the electoral process, giving us an unfiltered look at the candidates? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. They're nothing but orchestrated beauty contests with softball questions and pre-scripted answers. The only thing that's hard is the cash made by the networks showing the debates. Now, how many of you feel that breast enlargements have little to do with the needs of women and more to do with the satisfaction of men? Show of hands now. You're wrong! Oh, well, maybe you're right. Whoa. Who believes that phobias are a legitimate manifestation of childhood traumas, leaving behind deep emotional scars? Show of hands now! Well, you're wrong! Fears and phobias are pathetic excuses for the weak-minded to hide behind, so they can avoid responsibility and file bogus disability claims that you and I have to pay for. Frightening. How many of you think love and romance is overrated and that they only exist in states of fantasy and dementia? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. That wonderful interaction between a man and a woman feeds the soul, calms the heart, and provides relief to the nether regions. Wow. How many of you think that video games improve mental dexterity for survival in a modern high-tech world? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. You'll be nothing but couch potatoes and drones and wind up selling shoes. How many of you think that modern waste recyclists are responsible environmentalists whose only concern is to save Mother Earth? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. They're nothing but guilt-filled elitists who recycle their latte cups while driving gas-guzzling Hummers and struggling with intimacy. Am I right? Who here thinks that malcontents foster a climate of critical thinking, thereby generating positive change? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. Malcontents are nothing but a bunch of mealy-mouthed complainers who... Whoa! Look at the coconuts dangling on those trees. How many of you feel that today's shopping malls don't just promote commerce, but provide a culturally enriched gathering place for the community? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. Malls are breeding grounds for juvenile delinquents. I'm talking to you, sir. There's shoplifting, drug deals, and not to mention anonymous gay sex by supposed straight men in the top levels of the parking structure. How many feel every man, woman, and child is entitled to health insurance, regardless of income or station in life? Show of hands now. Well, you're wrong. You want socialized medicine? Then be prepared to wait in line to see your doctor, like the communists did when they waited in line for their pathetic ration of vodka. How many feel that elitist blue bloods are unproductive, spoiled heirs, whose only accomplishment is being born into the right family? Show of hands, now. Well, you're wrong. Without them, we wouldn't have polo, yachting, or television's The Simple Life. How many think that broadcast news is the best source of unfiltered information for local and world events? Show of hands, now. Well, you're wrong. They sensationalize, trivialize, and distort the facts. Turn off the TV and pick up a paper. Hey, how many of you think the U.S. Postal Service is the model of government efficiency and spends your tax dollars wisely? Show of hands, Schnell. Well, you're wrong. The only thing they're good at is protecting their jobs and raising the price of stamps. How many think American courtrooms are sacred sanctuaries serving justice without prejudice, where all are innocent until proven guilty? Show of hands, Aora. Yeah! Well, you're wrong. They're nothing but three-ring circuses where justice is for sale. Celebrities and their high-priced attorneys play to the camera and are only concerned with ratings and book deals. But those are the captain's thoughts. Yeah. What say you? Question. How many believe that a woman's place is in the home, raising children and running a traditional household? Show of hands. Toot sweet. I appreciate your offer, but you're wrong, ladies. Women are just as competitive as men, especially on the volleyball court with those high-cut French shorts, or gracing the cover of the swimsuit issue of a premier men's sporting magazine. And when it comes to the ruthless boardrooms, who better to lead a company than a female CEO with a snug Donna Karan suit and 6-inch stiletto heels? Question. How many think to have a successful career you need a role model, someone to give you guidance and take you under their wing? Show of hands, now. You're wrong. Huh? Only the weak follow. Don't be a sheep like this audience. Leaders separate themselves from the herd. We're men, not trained monkeys. Question. How many feel that comic books are a gateway to a limitless universe bound only by our imaginations? Manos arriba, now. Well, you're wrong. It's mindless drivel.
Hey, over here.
Green Lantern rules.
I like Spider-Man.
Guys. The captain hears you. What's your point?
Well, we really don't have one. Sorry.
Now.